the Code of Conduct is to promote the standard of professional conduct and self-discipline required of interior designers in the interest of public. It is a must to get the board's approval to open and name a consultancy practice. Letterheads should always have the following details. All activities related to the practice must be performed within the guidelines and circulars provided by the board. An interior designer should always keep upgrading his knowledge and skill and use them on the projects. A clear communication and trust should be built in the employer and employee relationship, and also with other people who are involved in the projects. Make sure all clauses are clear and to the point to avoid any issues. Integrity being one of the key parts in the Code of Conduct, specify a few important do's and don'ts in the practice, such as do not partake in any activity that may compromise your position and duty towards the project. Always be truthful in every aspect of being a designer in order to not mislead someone and avoid conflicts. No power position should be misused to gain upper hand in important development applications involving themselves or their practices. May advertise and publish previous work or even promote current project as long as it is following the guidelines given by the board and with the consent from their clients. Do not give or take any form of inducement in connection to the work. The fees will always be payable solely by the client. All the clauses in the project's paperwork should be made following the guidelines issued by the board. Do not ever attempt to supplant another registered person in order to secure a commission. Act honorably towards one another. With a new project, consult and inquire a registered person if they have been engaged in similar work previously, and then obtain a letter of release to proceed. This code does not prohibit any interior designer who also happens to be a director of a registered corporation from receiving his remuneration for his services. No person, unless he is a registered interior designer, can be entitled to open a consultancy practice, introduce or imply himself as an interior designer, nor will he be entitled to recover any remuneration in court for services rendered as an interior designer. The register shall contain names, addresses and other particulars for all interior designers, graduate interior designers and consultancy practices. Any interior designer, graduate interior designer and interior design consultancy practice may apply for registration to the board with the prescribed fee. After approval, it will expire on the 31st December of the year it was issued, which can be renewed annually with the prescribed fee to the board. A person may register as a graduate interior designer if they meet the qualification requirements of the board. After registration, they are required by the board to obtain practical experiences and pass examinations. Someone or someone equal to the Malaysian Board of Institute of Interior Designers is entitled to register as an interior designer. A person who is registered both as an architect in subsection 10 of 2 and an architectural consultancy practice under section 7A is entitled to register as an interior design consultancy practice. A person must be registered as a sole proprietorship, a partnership or a body corporate to recover a fee for design services rendered, provide any kind of interior design consultancy services. A sole proprietorship, a partnership or a body corporate may apply for registration for consultancy practice and will be approved by the board if all the conditions and restrictions imposed are followed. Any interior design consultancy practice must report to the board in writing within 30 days regarding any changes in the following. The board may order the following if there is any breach or failure to carry out the conditions given by the board. The board, however, will not do the previously mentioned only based on the grounds of a complaint unless it has been investigated by the disciplinary committee. Upon investigation, if the disciplinary committee suspends or cancels the registration, the consultancy practice will not have any right to exercise any privilege received upon registration, but will recover any fee or remuneration in court for any design services rendered prior to the suspension or cancellation. If the board receives an appeal or application stating the reason which led to the cancellation or suspension no longer exists, and the consultancy practice complies with the conditions given during the original registration, the suspended or cancelled registration will be reinstated with some additional conditions and restrictions as seen fit. However, there will be no appeal against any refusal to register the following as consultancy practices or against any terms or conditions given during registration. A change in the address of an IDCP should always be notified to the register. The member of the board of the disciplinary committee will be appointed to investigate any misconduct or complaint made against the following. The disciplinary committee can then order for a penalty or cancellation of registration depending on the circumstances, but they may not order any of the previously mentioned until the accused is given a chance to be heard. The appointed person for the investigation may require a person to give evidence of oath or affirmation from the accused prior to the investigation. Names and other particulars of registered designers or consultancy practices will be removed in the following cases. Any of the following whose names has been removed from the registration may appeal if allowed in order to be reinstated. They must reinstate as soon as possible within 5 years of removal, along with the prescribed fee and compliance with the conditions given. If the appeal is dismissed, they must apply for reinstatement within 2 years with satisfactory explanation and proof that led to the cancellation or removal. If accepted, the registration will be issued again. Upon notification of removal from the register, the person must surrender to the board the certification of registration issued to him.